Okay. I haven't heard no one else I've spoken to has mentioned the cream before, the anti-irritant cream, so that's interesting. And do you find swimming in the ocean helps?
What was that, sorry?
Do you find swimming in the ocean helps?
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Okay.
If I don't usually have time because I'm pretty busy and I don't live directly next to the beach, but when I can get there sort of a couple of days in a row, I find it really, really helpful.
Oh, good. That's excellent. It's good for your soul as well.
I agree.
I find that, yeah. Okay, now we're going to go through the treatments one by one. And if you could tell me about any side effects you've experienced with those treatments. So with the cortisone injections when you were little, did your mum and dad tell you about any side effects?
Not direct side effects. They mostly just sort of in hindsight thought they shouldn't have done that to a baby. That was quite extreme. Yeah.
Okay. What about with the cortisone cream now and the prednisone?
I've got very thin skin and it's sort of very prematurely wrinkly.
Yeah.
But no sort of really intense side effects, kind of long-term.
Okay. And what about the light therapy? Were there any side effects of that?
Well, I'm incredibly, because I've got such shit skin, I'm very careful going in the sun. Like, I'm always wearing sunscreen and stuff. So when they initially suggested that, I was really hesitant. And the short rounds I did of that, all the freckles and the moles are obviously hanging around under the surface trying to prevent all came up. And I got very sunburnt. I would get burnt sometimes. Yeah. And my skin was very dry.
Okay. And what about with the baths that you mentioned? So there was the bleach baths and the oatmeal baths. Were there any side effects with those?
No, that was fine. I'd mainly sort of do bleach baths when I was going through kind of like a bit of an infectious time. Yeah. Okay.
Now, of the side effects that you've mentioned, so really there was the thinning of the skin and the premature wrinkling of the skin with the cortisone and prednisone, and then the sunburn and the drying out of the skin with the light therapy, and anything else you think about as we're talking through it. Of all the side effects, which ones have you felt best able to cope with?
The dry skin.
Okay. And which side effects have been very difficult to cope with?
The premature aging. That's more psychologically though.
Hey, psychological is just as valid as physical side effects.
Yeah.
So, because it's important to think, you know, I don't know anything about you besides your name's Carla, but you sound like a young woman, and you don't want to look old before your time.
Yeah, that's it. I'm 26.
Sorry, how old?
I'm 26. 26.
You were, I'm nearly double your age, so that's very young to me. Okay. No, so the psychological side effects are every bit as relevant as the physical side effects. So I can truly understand why the premature wrinkling would be distressing. Yeah. Okay. Now, what about things like complementary therapies that you've tried yourself? So things that haven't been prescribed by your doctor.
Diet.
Mm-hmm.
Like a sort of elimination diet, dairy, eggs, all sorts of things. I've tried all the creams that people suggest, goat's milk and honey, stuff like that. Basically all the cliche things that people suggest to you as soon as they see you've got eczema, I've tried.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes. Yeah, no, that's fine. But nothing from dermatologists. Sorry, most things naturopaths or herbalists or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Now, when
That's
you try something, okay. When you try something new, how long do you stick with it before you give up on it if you don't think it's working?
I'd give it a month.
Yeah. And when you're using a treatment, what needs to improve for you to feel as though the treatment has worked?
Just my overall quality of life. My eczema in general can be quite life-limiting in the activities and the lifestyle that I lead. So if I can sort of participate in things that I can't usually participate in, I sort of consider it successful.
Yeah. Okay. Now, can you tell me what types of information you've been able to access about eczema?
Just general online stuff most of the time. If I find if you talk to the doctors about eczema, they sort of go to cortisone straight away and there's nothing else about it. Do you feel like they don't understand how serious it is? Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, I realise I'm not going to die or anything, but it's very life limiting.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does. It makes a lot of sense. Okay. What types of information has been helpful?
What types of information have been helpful? Sorry, you're on loudspeaker. My voice is here as well.
Oh, hello.
Oh, yeah. When the dermatologist told me about that cream that I mentioned.
Yeah.
That was just sort of in passing. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I use, all the regular moisturizers and things, and I was sort of asking about any specific anti-itch cream, and that was really helpful. Oh, something else that I completely forgot. The cortisone alternatives that the dermatologist prescribed me, they were helpful.
Yeah.
My back.
Okay.
So I was getting a lot of eczema around my eyes, and I didn't, you can't really put cortisone there.
Okay. Has any information not been helpful?
Any information not been helpful?
Yeah.
More just anecdotal things that random old ladies and things will tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they don't do any harm, but they don't do any good either. They probably work for very mild eczema. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a preference for online information, phone apps, booklets, or talking to someone?
Probably just online information.
Okay.
Talking to someone.
Sorry, go on. Yeah.
Talking to someone would help if they had something new or different to say. Yeah. Okay.
We know that receiving information can be overwhelming. So in hindsight, when do you think you're most receptive to receiving information about eczema?
When I'm just at home doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I'm at home just sort of laying around. Does that answer the question? But then how would people know when I'm just at home sitting around?
Well, I guess the thing is, sometimes people talk about not really caring too much about information until they hit a crisis, whereas other people, like their eczema's really flared up and they're looking for answers. Whereas other people say, if they're in a crisis mode with whatever the illness might be, they want to get it dealt with and then they can think about the information.
Oh, okay. Yep, I see. Well, when you put it like that, I'd say when I go to the doctor about my eczema, I'm always hoping they'll say something new, and I'm really receptive I would be very receptive if they did.
Yeah, okay. And when you say the doctor, do you mean the GP or the dermatologist or?
GP.
Yeah, okay. But all the GP, from what you're saying, all the GP wants to do is tell you to use cortisone.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah, okay. All right. Can you describe what your communication with healthcare professionals about eczema has been?